It has been a long time since I have been on the podcast alone, solo, right? Well, there are a lot of things that I have to talk about. There's the movie I saw yesterday. There's F1. Oh my god, there is F1. I have to talk about F1. So much has happened. I have to get you guys caught up on all the drama. And a lot of things are gonna happen. So, without any further ado, say it with me. Say it loudly and say it proudly. I mean, if you want to, because if you say it really loudly, your parents will look at you and be like,
Damn, son. What's up?
So, without any further ado, let's just jump right into the intro. Boom! And welcome to the A.B.H.I Podcast. Damn, that feels like throwback. It's been like almost 4-5 weeks since I had a normal episode, and it's good to be back. So let me start with the topmost thing on my mind, Dune. Yesterday, I went with my brother to the theaters to watch a movie called Dune. Most of you might already know it because you have seen the trailers, but you don't know what that story is because, even I didn't know what the story was. Let me tell you, this movie looks super awesome. Like every frame of the movie looks like some awesome architectural masterpiece. Like, you know that Marvel CGI, right? The Marvel's VFX. It's good. It's not bad. It's very accurate to physics and it's accurate lighting and everything. But it's very plastic. Like, you just can't tell. Like, okay, it's CGI, it works, but it's not something that is going to blow my mind away, right? But Dune, the VFX in Dune is so realistic that in your mind you are like, obviously this is not real. Obviously it's fake. But your eyes, when they look at the picture, it's so realistic, you'll be like, damn, am I supposed to believe my eyes or am I just supposed to follow the obvious by knowing that it's not real? I mean, let me tell you this, okay? If this movie did not have that great cinematography and the great VFX, then I would not have given this movie like 7.5 or 7 out of 10. I would have given it more like 6 or 6.5. Because the story of this movie, it's actually split in two parts. They purposefully did this, like Bahubali 1 and Bahubali 2. The story is like quite big and they wanted to emphasize on every small character also. Okay? So that's why they split the movie in two parts. Okay? But the thing is that in the first part of this series, only the starting, like the first act of the movie was like well structured. After the first act, the second act is like kind of random. Like they didn't know what they wanted to do, and then the third act they just ended it like, yeah, okay, something is going to happen. It was not like suspenseful, like how in Bahubali 1 there was this whole build up towards the end, and when Katappa like kills Bahubali, everyone was like, I want to see what happens right now. I still remember when I went to see Bahubali 1 in theaters. After the end, when Katappa kills Bahubali, I thought that this was a second intermission because I thought that the movie is like super duper long and that is why they're giving 2 breaks. But then I was suddenly like, oh, it's part 2. It's coming out after 2 years. Damn it. But that factor of excitement was completely missing in Dune. Like, you would just be... Only the people who were like super impressed with the CGI and the people who are diehard fans of the actual Dune storyline, they will come to see part 2. But people who are just, coming to see this movie for time pass or to have like some good time, they'll just see the movie, they'll get bored and they won't come to see part 2. It was not interesting enough to make the people who did not care about the movie care about the movie. You know what I'm saying? So that is why this movie, I think Bahubali did that 2-part thing better. Way, way, way better. But the CGI in this movie is so damn good. Like, I think the best usage of CGI is when you use it to enhance practical effects, not completely base it on CGI. I mean, of course, if you're really, really high budget and you can put all your money in VFX, then super duper awesome. You don't have to build all these sets and things, which is so wasteful and so time consuming. But if you already have so much money, why not just build a practical set? It's so much more fun. Like, I was seeing this interview with Christopher Nolan, that famous director of Interstellar, Inception, all these movies, Dark Knight, everyone knows Dark Knight. Okay? So someone asked him, why don't you like VFX and green screen? Why do you always go for the practical effects and practical stunts and everything? He says that when I make it practical, it's more engaging for the actors, the crew members, and for me. Like, when you make it practical, you have more fun, and that's why you feel more connected with the movie. But if it's only green screen, it's like lifeless. You don't feel the excitement. It's just like another day on the work, right? It's just another day. But if you come to a practical set, a set that rotates, a set that explodes, a set that moves or has character, you feel like, damn, I'm doing something really awesome over here. It feels like a playtime, more like a job time. You know what I'm saying? So if you've seen the Marvel movies, they so many times upload like behind the scenes clips, and all of them is just green screen and actors attached to wires, like pretending to fly in space. But it's just green screen. Even Game of Thrones, there was this very famous clip in, I think, season 8, where this that what's that, Emily's what's that, Daenerys, yeah, Daenerys Targaryen. Okay, so she's like petting a dragon, and behind the scenes it's literally just a stick with green color sponge thing attached to the ends, and she's just petting it, so everyone was just laughing at it. But if you see Christopher Nolan's behind the scenes clips, it's all real sets. Like in Inception, there's this scene where the whole corridor of a hotel lobby like moves around. Like the corridor of a hotel moves, like rotates. Normally in Marvel movies, they would just attach actors to like some ropes and make them go around. But Christopher Nolan built the whole set, and the actors had to practice for months to act on this rotating set. So behind the scenes was even more interesting to watch. Sometimes even more interesting than the actual movie, because some of us don't understand high concept movies. Don't understand high concept movies. So that's what I'm saying. Dune, so much of it was shot in real locations, in the real sand, in real places. Only the scenes where the spaceships are landing, those scenes are obviously CGI. But I also have to say, I thought that the theater that I went to see the movie in would not give me the best movie experience, because it's quite small and it's quite new. So I thought that the speakers would be kind of like medium quality, the picture quality will be okay. But when I went there, the screen was really bright, it was really vibrant, colorful. Only some scenes were like dark, but the speakers, oh my god, the sound designing in this movie, oh, it is so good. Like whenever there's a spaceship landing, you feel the vibrations coming from the speakers. My seats were vibrating. I was feeling like I was in 4D, but I was not. So that was a very good movie experience for me. And I would think that if you guys want to experience a movie, Dune is a good movie to feel the experience. Like, you won't ever feel a Marvel movie. I mean, you will get excited by all the hype. I have seen Endgame in theaters myself and Infinity War. It's just the audience reaction and the hype of the movie that makes it propel itself. But it does not make you feel the movie. Even I saw Infinity War in 4DX. I still did not experience it as much as I felt and experienced Dune. So go check it out. It's full jam-packed with A-list actors like Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, and Dave Bautista and everything. Speaking of Dave Bautista, I am going to see Bond on October 4th. That's right, October 4th, I'm going to see the new James Bond movie in the theaters with my brother. Alright? I am a huge James Bond fan. Not of the old movies. I don't care about the old movies. I only care about the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, especially Casino Royale. I think, mentioned this in the past as well. Casino Royale is one of the best James Bond movies, and one of my favorite James Bond movies. It's so good, but I won't go on a tangent right now because I can make like a 1 hour video just like, gushing and making a big fanboy out of myself for Casino Royale. I won't go down that road, down that rabbit hole right now. I'll save it for some other time, okay? But I am going to see not Quantum of Solace. I'm going to see No Time to Die in theaters on October 4th. I am super excited for this movie. I haven't seen any promotion like material for like 7 months now. The only trailer I saw was when they released it for the first time, and then I saw the Super Bowl trailer, and that's it. And I think I saw those trailers only like 2 times each. That's it. And I heard the song of Billie Eilish, which is a very good song. I think it is my second favorite song after You Know My Name. That is what's his name? That this musician's name, John Cornell or something like that. I don't know, but his first name I forgot. His last name is something Cornell. Okay, Chris Cornell. Yes, Chris Cornell. So his You Know My Name for Casino Royale is my favorite Bond intro song, and then I think second is Billie Eilish. I thought I would never say this, but yeah, Billie Eilish is a good song. I think it's mainly made by Hans Zimmer. That's why I like it more. But we'll talk about that later. All right. So the last James Bond movie that I saw in theaters was Quantum of Solace, which was back in 2008. I was 5 years old that time. I was born in 2003, and that movie came in 2008. I was 5 years old. And now, almost 14 years later, I am revisiting Bond in theaters. Now, it's a big moment for me, okay? Because I am a huge movie fan. And on top of that, if you put Bond... So, I have not heard any reviews for the new James Bond movie, but I have high hopes. Like, from the things that I have seen in the trailers, I feel like they have gone above and beyond to make this movie like one of the best, because this is the last movie that Daniel Craig is going to make as the James Bond character, and it's a healthy number. 5 movies from one actor. It's a good amount. It's a good amount because all these movies like took 2006, right? So almost 15 years as Bond. It's not a joke. It's not an easy task, my dudes. It's not an easy task. 15 years in 5 movies. So almost every 3 years they released a movie, which is insane. Trust me, it is. Okay. Well, I am excited for Bond, and we'll see how that turns out. And yesterday was the premiere for the new James Bond movie, so even the F1 people came because Aston Martin entered Formula 1 this season, right? So to celebrate that, and because they're Aston Martin, they are like one of the main sponsors for the James Bond franchise. So the racers who race for the Formula 1 Aston Martin team, they went to the red carpet of James Bond. Speaking of F1, now let's finally get into F1. So much drama has gone down in F1. So much drama. I think the last time I mentioned F1 on the podcast was like 4 episodes ago, which is like 2 months of no F1 news to you guys. Let me just give you a debrief of what happened. The latest race that happened was in... I forgot. Let me just quickly search that. So the latest race that took place was in Russia. And Lewis Hamilton came on top. Max Verstappen was second. But Max Verstappen had to swap his engine, and because of that, he got a penalty and had to start from the last position. That is P20. But at the end of the race, he came P2, which is a big jump. Checo Perez did not have a very good luck, even though he's my favorite driver. He started the race at P8 but ended the race on P9, which is a sad story. But I move. Alright. The most interesting thing happened at the Italian GP. Alright. This was before the Russian Grand Prix, and this race was completely insane. Okay. Both Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were going head to head none of them were giving each other any space to breathe or take a break. And what happened is that they both crashed into each other, and Max Verstappen's car went on top of Lewis Hamilton's car. I'll put like a screenshot of the thing right now. You will see that it looks insane. If you see the replay on YouTube, you will get like, how did this car get on top of that car? How is that possible? But it did happen. And now the difference between these two drivers is only of 2 points. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, only 2 points separate these guys. Now, I want Max Verstappen to win in the next race, right? I think it's happening on Sunday. Let me just check again. When is the next race happening? It's happening in Turkey on Sunday, October 10. Eesh, that's a long way around. Now it's September 30. So it's happening in 10 days, but it's happening. It's happening at 4 p.m. Kuwait time, Istanbul Park. I am super excited because if Max wins that race, then he will overtake Lewis Hamilton by at least 4 points, in my opinion. I think 4 points? Yeah. Almost 4-5 points. Verstappen will be in lead if he wins. If he does not, then Lewis will increase that gap. And I don't want that gap to increase. I'm telling you, I want it to close and overtake. I want Verstappen to get the lead and win the season. Because if he wins this will be his first World Championship victory. And if Lewis Hamilton wins this, it will be a record-breaking championship for him. Because till now, he and Michael Schumacher are tied. Okay? Both of them have 7 World Championships. But if Lewis wins this, he'll get 8 World Championships and break the record that Michael Schumacher had. Okay? And now that he's tied with. But if Verstappen wins, this will be his first victory. So both of them have a lot of pride in this championship. Lot of pride, because for this guy it'll be his first, and for the other guy it'll be record breaking. So I'm just like excited to see who's gonna come out on top. I am personally rooting for Verstappen. And speaking of Verstappen, it's his birthday. He just turned 24 years old. Like I think today or yesterday was his birthday, and he just turned 24. And awesome thing about Verstappen is that many of you might not have known about this, but he won his first ever F1 race. His debut race, he won. So because of that, he has even more hype, and he shows so much promise. Like he could be the next Schumacher or Verstappen. He could be the next Hamilton or Schumacher. Like he's that high level potential. And I think there are 4 young racers that show a lot of potential. Okay. Of course, Verstappen is number 1. Lando Norris, then George Russell and Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is for Ferrari. George Russell is for Williams. But good news is that next year he's shifting to Mercedes. And Valtteri Bottas, who was in place before, is now moving down to Alfa Romeo. So I should say George Russell in Mercedes, but currently he's in Williams, so I'll keep him in Williams. Okay, don't give him extra credit. He should earn it more. All right. So Charles Leclerc is in Ferrari. George Russell is in Williams. Lando Norris is in McLaren. And actually, the last Russian GP was quite sad for Lando Norris, because in qualifying he came P1, alright, and when he started the race, his pace was good, everything was fine. But what happened towards the end of the race was that it started raining more, and he made a wrong judgment in not changing his tires. His teammates were like, radioing him and telling him to come in to change the tires. But he was like, no, if I come in, I'll lose my position and Hamilton will overtake me. But which was a solid thinking. But just like, he took a gamble, and sometimes gambles, they give you a fruitful result, or sometimes they don't. And in this case, it didn't give him a fruitful result. Poor guy. The track was so wet that there was a sharp turn coming up, and he couldn't turn in time. So he skid, and he lost 7 places. When at the end of the race, he came P7 instead of P1. So very sad for him, and he was quite disappointed. but he has so much potential. Like, he just needs more experience. That's it. Already at such a young age, he's one of the youngest F1 drivers. Like, he's, I think, 21 years old, only like 4 years older than me. Imagine, 4 years older than me, and he's one of the best F1 young generation drivers, like, till now. Okay, so Charles Leclerc, George Russell. George Russell also is doing amazing things with Williams. Like, it's insane. Williams is like one of the bottom tier teams in the past 5-6 years. Their golden era was in the 90s and early 2000s. But they were so strong and they were making so many innovations that FIA, that's the ruling governing body of Formula One, they purposefully introduced rules and regulations that, uh, made Williams a weak team. Because every year, if the same team wins, it becomes a boring and stale sports, right? If there's no competition, like, oh, okay, this team always wins. I don't care about the sport anymore. So to change that up, they added some rules that made Williams a very weak team. Because in the 90s, their car was winning every season, every time. Their car was the most high-tech, advanced car. And they were introducing so much new technology that there were not even rules in place to, like, regulate these new technologies. So they were winning every time. I saw a video on this on YouTube, and that's how I know all this stuff. Like, Williams was at the top of its game in the 90s, but then FIA struck them down and brought them back to the bottom tier. But because of George Russell, this season Williams has, like, literally crushed it, like, absolutely outperformed their own car. Like, Nicholas Latifi, he's the second driver for Williams, and he's like just like a mediocre. Like, no one gives it that much care about him. But both of them have the same car. George Russell and Nicholas Latifi both have the same cars, but George Russell has so much talent and so much skill that he can even make a dumb car like Williams' car, like, perform at more than its potential. That's how good he is. Imagine what he will be able to do in a Mercedes car. He would literally maybe outperform Hamilton, which is a lot. Okay, Hamilton is one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time, and if George Russell outperforms him, which I don't think will happen anytime soon, because Hamilton just has so much experience, it's unreal. He's like a walking Wikipedia for F1. Okay, so it's not going to happen, but he is very promising. George Russell is very promising. And then, of course, Verstappen is already at Hamilton's rivalry level. So he's like, if these three guys are here, then Verstappen is like here, like a different tier completely. You have to make a different segment to categorize Verstappen. He's just like that next breed which defines the sport, like leads the sport into the future. Yeah. Oh, let me tell you one more thing. Just before the Italian Grand Prix, okay, in the Dutch Grand Prix, or was it the Belgian? No. Which was it? Belgian? Yeah. So, this happened like in the Belgian Grand Prix. It happened on August 29th, Sunday, okay? In the Belgian Grand Prix, it was raining so much. Normally, when it rains, F1 races do not stop. They just keep on continuing, alright? But this track was having a lot of downward slopes and it was super dangerous. Like, because of the slope, the water would, like, make a puddle at the end of the slope, which would make it even more dangerous. And these cars move at such high speeds that there's always a mist behind them. So the drivers can't see anything. And there are so many high speed slopes on this track that no matter how much power or how slow you move your car, you are going to crash into someone. You're going to hurt yourself or the track marshals or the car or anything. You can hurt the audience also. And that's why they had to cancel the race. And because of the cancellation, okay, George Russell, by I don't know how, but for that race in qualifying, George Russell qualified, I think, P2 or P3 because of the rainy condition. He was really performing at his peak at that rain condition, all right? So he got P3. And at the end of the race, when this race was about to start, they did some formation laps to see if it's safe, but they only managed to get 2 laps or 3 laps in. And after that, they canceled the race, and people were like, so what, there's no winner for this race, or are you going to decide the winner, or are you going to redo the race? And they're like, no, we don't have the time or money to like do this whole race again. So they're like, we'll just decide the winners right now. So Verstappen came on top and George Russell came second. His first podium happened because of a race cancellation. And what a lucky person he is, man. What a lucky person. Williams from the bottom team went straight up to like the sixth or fifth team immediately. And everyone was in shock. How did this happen? How was this guy so lucky? But it happened, and that was his first podium. His first F1 podium happened because of a race cancellation. Oh, you just have to, give props to this guy's luck. It's just so much luck, this guy. And now he's going to go to Mercedes next year. So it's even more crazy. It's even more insane. Okay. So yeah. And there's like this whole meme also. Like Kimi Raikkonen, okay, he announced his retirement, which is like quite an obvious news because he's like 45, 47 years old now. So, and he's quite like, old, and he's done with. He already got a world championship in 2007 or 8. So he's retiring, right? It's a okay news, and everyone was like, oh, okay, Kimi Raikkonen, nice. But after he decided that he's going to retire, so many other major news started to come from Formula 1. Like, there's so many memes on it. Like, there's a small domino with the caption Kimi Raikkonen retiring. Then there's a bigger domino with like a bigger news. And then at the end, there's like a full wall. And like, that's that. The meme is everyone saying. Let me just search. Then I can find out. I forgot. Okay, I give up. I give up. I can't find anything. But there was this whole meme where like it started with the announcement of Kimi Raikkonen's retirement, and then it just followed up with bigger news. I think it just followed up with George Russell's announcement to Mercedes, and then Valtteri Bottas' shift to AlphaTauri, and then it was like something else, like someone is retiring or something. I don't know, but crazy it was going down, and it was insane. It was truly insane. Yeah, so I think that should cover up everything that you guys missed in F1. That should basically do it, right? Yeah, George Russell podium, race cancellation, Verstappen crashed into Hamilton. Hamilton won the latest race. Verstappen came P2, something about Perez. Next race is happening on October 10. Speaking of October 10, my birthday is on October 13th. Gang. But on October 14th, my brother is leaving Kuwait and going to India. Finally. It's kind of sad, because it's like he's going to India for like permanently now, his college and everything. So he won't be coming back to Kuwait anytime soon. Which is like kind of sad for me because I've been staying with him in the room for like almost all my life. And now I'm going to be separated. So there's like a little bit sadness factor coming. But, life moves, we move, and, we'll meet each other in the future. We'll meet. And, yeah. October 14th, he's going to India. So on October 13th, I'm going to have like a birthday party with my family. And then maybe on October 15th, when my brother is gone, I'll have a party with the friends. We'll see. I think we'll do. Yeah. We'll have a good party. And yeah, I think that should cover the movie. It covered F1. It covered my birthday. Anything else? My phone, I said, yeah, my phone's microphone is completely busted. So I am searching for a new phone. I am looking at the Galaxy S21, the 256 GB variant, because no expandable storage on the latest phones, right? So it's better to have more storage inbuilt than, being like, oh, I need to delete some photos. I need to put this on the cloud. None of that. Just get high storage so you don't have to worry about all that BS afterwards, right? Plus, I need a new phone. Like, My phone currently has quite bad camera, like with today's standards. Back then it was good, like for the money and for everything it was good camera. Plus this phone has so many features that the new phones just will not ever have. Like this phone can support dual SIM with expandable storage. It has a headphone jack, and it does not have wireless charging, but it has USB-C fast charging. It has the latest Android and everything. So I'm inclined to use this phone for 3 years at least. It's been 2.5 years. I've been using this phone for 2.5 years. So it's almost close to 3 years. Actually, no, not even 2.5 years. Is it? When did I buy this phone? I think in February. So October, November, December, January, February. Yeah. So almost 2.5 years I've been using this phone, and I think it's a good amount of time to use a phone. I bought this phone for like 98 KD, and a few months after I purchased it was like 75 KD. But I don't regret my decision. I did a lot of research before I bought this phone because it was the best value for money. Everything below this price range was just like, subpar. It did not have good camera, did not have good screen, it did not have the latest technology. But because of this investment or this phone, I got the USB-C, got the fast charging, and because of this phone, I have now 2 charging bricks, which you do not get in the new phones. You do not get new charging bricks in the phones. So, yeah, I have a charging brick from my father's S8, and I haven't even touched the charging brick that came with this phone. So, yeah, it's a big deal. Nowadays, the new phones, they don't come with the charging brick, they don't come with headphones, and that's it. They only come with the phone and some paperwork and like a charging wire. That's it. I think because they're trying to cut down on the whole pollution thing, they know that all the people already have the charging bricks. They just need the, what do you say? The thing. What is it? The thing. They need the wire. That's it. Because wires only get beaten up the most. The adapters, they stay fine for a long time. So yeah, that's my phone, that's F1, that's my brother going to India, that's my birthday, that's the movies. I have covered a lot of topics in this episode, and I think I am feeling quite comfortable to end it over here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this chill back, relax episode. It's one of those episodes that is just like a break from all the collabs and the high production stuff. Next week, I am planning something big, okay? Like, it's a podcast episode, but it's going to be like a review podcast episode. I'm going to give you the name of the show that I'm going to review. It's called Gravity Falls. Exactly, yeah. Most of you might have heard about it. But if you haven't, don't worry, my fellow friends. I will give you a very good description in the next episode. I am planning something very special for that one, okay? For those of you who know Gravity Falls, it's all about the Easter eggs. So, not about like the Easter eggs, like the hints and clues, right? So, the next episode I might have some hidden clues and hints in it. Stick around to find out. Until then, this is your homie, this is your boy, Abhishek. I'll talk to you in the very next episode of the A.B.H.I Podcast. And until then, take care, have a good time, have a safe time, and I'll see you. Bye bye. What was this?